The man in the black van. I was laying in bed one night, unable to sleep, and a memory resurfaced. It was one I'd occasionally think about or rarely retell, but tonight it struck me as particularly disturbing. Maybe because it's the sort of thing you can only completely appreciate the possible implications of it when you're an adult. I'm not sure if this story belongs here, but it is true nonetheless. I'm around 13 years old getting ready for school one morning. My dad is off at work and my mom is getting ready for hers, I think. Every day I'd walk to school, as it's only about half a mile from my home. I'm ready, and head out the door, saying goodbye. I walk down the hill of my yard and down the curved street in the direction of the school, out of sight of my house, but not far. I reach where my neighborhood ends, where I would cross the street and towards the intersection of the school. Before I do, a dingy-looking black minivan van, not sure how to describe it, pulls up in front of my path, poised in front of the road parallel to my neighborhood. Car I have never seen before in my neighborhood, nor since. I look at him. He's looking at me. It's a pasty Caucasian man who looks like he's in his 30s, least. He has disheveled brown hair. But what struck me was his eyes. He had dark circles under them and a very uncomfortable stare. His window is still up. He then motions me towards him with his hand. My heart begins to pound. Every part of me is saying this is not a good man. So I just stand there, look at him, and shake my head no. Part of me had the feeling he was going to jump out, prepared to run, but he didn't. He didn't even respond to my gesture. He looked at me, unfazed, before briskly pulling out of the neighborhood into the road ahead, and he was gone. I don't remember what happened next. I think I ran home rather than towards school, as I was very startled. I told my mom either that morning or later that day, and she told my dad, who's a policeman. He called me into the living room. He was on his work laptop and wanted me to describe the man and the car for him. I didn't have much useful info to give, as I was a dopey middle school boy who wasn't prepared to memorize plates or was at all knowledgeable of cars. It's possible that if I were to have just walked up to him, that I would never be seen or heard from again. Just another middle schooler who gets swallowed up by the world and disappears. No witnesses, just an unsolved mystery and a forever grieving family. I shudder to think what could have happened to me, as I know now what people are capable of. Death isn't nearly the worst thing. Or maybe it's all in my head. Maybe he just wanted some directions, or to ask me something, even though his window was closed and he looked unwell, say the least. The worst part is, I'll never know. Maybe it was just the overblown anxiety of a kid taking things out of proportion. All I know is that every part of him was screaming to me, there's something wrong. Remembering how it felt looking into his eyes, I can't help but believe it.